On the finance side, as Mr. Tolbert said, we need to have 25% U.S. equity participation in the project. If there's 25% participation from an American citizen or from an American company, 75% Liberian ownership, we can finance the whole project. And let me just give you some numbers. If it's a $1 billion project, let's say, we'll consider providing 50% in the form of a loan, so $500,000. You've got to come up with another $500,000 in the form of equity, let's say. Of that, only $125,000 has to be U.S. So for a $125,000 investment by an American citizen for a $1 million project, you're getting a $500,000 loan. So this is the way that if you're a Liberian business person, you can bring an American citizen, including a Liberian American citizen, into your project and access OPIC finance. Now, Liberia is also a special case in that, as you'll hear from John, there's another way for Liberian business people, wholly owned Liberian companies, to have access to the same kind of capital through a local lending institution being backed by OPIC. This is unique, and I think it speaks to how important Liberia is for OPIC. For those of you who are Americans and may not be familiar with Liberia, or Liberian Americans who have been gone a while, the climate certainly has improved, but it's different than what you probably remember. We can also provide political risk insurance. And I don't want to go into all of the details of what this is, but basically it allows you as the American company to sit down with your Liberian partner and talk about the commercial aspect of the deal. You don't understand the political climate, you don't understand the legal climate, don't worry about that. OPIC will carve out that risk for you, that non-commercial risk, so that you can sit down and talk to your partner on the terms that you really understand, and that is business. We do this for large companies, we do this for small companies. I think it happens to be particularly relevant for small American companies or investors who don't have any prior experience in other countries. It's a good way of us helping them take advantage of good opportunities, good commercial opportunities, in countries where they may not understand the political climate, whether it's positive or negative. We also have a program of private equity funds. Right now, for all of sub-Saharan Africa, we have about 4 funds that are managed by the private sector. OPIC has backed them with guarantees. Right now, that's about $1 billion in existing private equity capital that's available. They make all of their own decisions, and quite frankly, I suspect none of them are looking at Liberia right now. They're probably looking at the more sophisticated markets because that's what private equity does. But I think as the economy grows, as people begin to understand the very positive investment climate in Liberia, particularly compared to some of Liberia's neighbors, that you're going to see some of these private equity funds come in and look for investment in Liberia. We also are working on an additional $1 billion in funds. By the end of this year, we should have approved about $750 million in these private equity funds. Remember, this is all of Africa, including North Africa. But it's, again, a tribute, I think, to the visionary leadership of Ralph Bosbacher and John Simon, that they are willing to really go out on a limb and work with the American private sector to mobilize this capital for investment in sub-Saharan Africa. With that, I think I have hit my 5 minutes. Let me just conclude by saying that OPIC will be speaking at all of the forthcoming Liberia Investment Symposium. We've been at every conference that we can be at, and it's a very good opportunity for us. So we have one office in Washington, D.C., 180 people covering 154 countries. We don't get out very much, but this is an excellent opportunity for us to meet those of you outside of the Beltway, as we call it. My email address is on the presentation that I'll leave here, and I look very much forward to talking to those of you in the audience who are U.S. citizens thinking about investing in Liberia, or Liberians or Liberian Americans who have local projects in Liberia as well. Thank you very much.